Greetings, automotive enthusiasts. Today we have for you a 1994 Ferrari 348 Spider. So we're going to do something a little bit different on this video. I'll go ahead and walk around here a little bit while I'm talking about it. So this is a car that we just acquired. This is a kind of a dream car, bucket list car for us personally here. And so we're gonna hold onto this car for a while and drive it and enjoy it. So I bought this car. It does have some needs. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna do this video in two parts. We're gonna show you the car, basically just how we got it. Just, you know, a wash and a vac, nothing fancy, no recon done, except for I put new tires on it, but I'll talk about that. But like I said, we're gonna bring the car to you. And then in the future, you know, as I take my time and kind of restore the car, then we'll show you the finished version of the car, you know, and that way you kind of see the car in its really excellent, you know, current presentable condition, and then kind of see what it looks like when it's done. So this is kind of a special car, special project, and so it's gonna be a little bit different video. So I got the top up right now. We'll start with the top because then I'm gonna put it down when I do the rest of the video on the car. But the top does have two tears, excuse me, in the top, and I got some tape on there to keep the water out and the wind out when I wash it and everything. So obviously we're gonna be putting a new top on the car, but you know, I just wanna kind of show you what the car looks like with the top up. Very, excuse me, very good looking car. I love the way it has the valley in here, like the Targas and the coupes. You know, it still retains that really cool look. And so just kind of want to show you that. So I'm going to put the top down and we'll continue the video. All right, we've got the top down. It's a mechanical top and it stows very, very nicely. I like the way it folds up and locks in, and then it goes really flush with the car too. So if you look at that, so your visibility is fantastic. You don't have this big top hoops, you know, obscuring your rear vision. So really cool. And then they have a boot cover that goes along with that. I don't have that boot cover. I have to try to source one of those, but so that's kind of how that goes. So kind of start back up here at the front corner, you know, kind of, you know, start over here and got to give you this view, right, of the car and the walk around with the top down. But so this is a car. It's got just turned 36,000 miles on it. No accidents or damage reported on Carfax. Just a beautiful car, gated manual transmission. This car, what's special about 94 is they did a lot of changes in 94. They revamped the suspension. They upped the horsepower. It's got about 319 horsepower from a 3.4 liter V8, revs to about 7,500 RPM. Has an absolutely just glorious exhaust note. Nice linear power. They even revamped the gear ratios and everything for this car. So 94 is really a special year in the 348 line. I think 94 and 95, because in 95, the 355, actually in 94, you know, so this car carried over in the Spider configuration, but, you know, did not in the coupe because that turned into the 355. So 355 basically is an evolution of this car. So doing that walk around here, so we'll go ahead and zoom in here on and show you kind of flaws and imperfections. And like I said, all we really did on this car was a wash and vac. And, you know, we did put some new tires on it. I'll talk about that when we get to there. So let's take a peek. Okay, so looking at the front, so the front valance is actually part of the spoiler. It's one piece, but it looks like two separate pieces. So if you go like this, you'll kind of see where there's a seam there. The bumper itself is really, really nice. Little chip here. I haven't done any polishing or anything on this car, just a wash and then a little spray wipe wax on the car. But so you'll see that there are some cracks in the lower part of the bumper. And there's a little chip there. So I'm gonna have the lower half taped off, and we're gonna restore the lower half of this. I'm gonna leave the paint on the top of the bumper because number one, there's a really great brake line, you know, with a natural seam there. And then that way we don't have fresh paint mating up against the old original paint. And so it's gonna really continue with its, you know, original, because this is pretty much a survivor car. And I'll talk about anything that's been changed. Fog lights, good condition, very, very light pitting. The grille looks really nice. Both fog lights are in very, very good condition. Really the only flaw on the car, metal-wise, is right here. This is an aluminum hood, and you'll see that there's a little bit of corrosion starting underneath the paint right there. I'm gonna leave that until it gets worse. I don't want to break the paint on this car, so I'm just gonna live that as, you know, part of its character. Gets to a point where it becomes detrimental to the health of the car, then that's when I would look at resolving it. So there's gonna be lots of little issues, like a little scratch in the paint right there. A lot of this, it's, you know, with a paint correction, this car I think is gonna really, really come out nice. It's still gonna have a few little minor issues and little hickeys and bruises, but I am going to be thrilled with driving it just like it is. So looking across the hood here, I am super happy with the condition of this car. And like I said, the bumper looks really nice. And look, there's even some old wax down here, and it's on there for a long time. I did get some wax off. I took a little bit of a polishing compound and I rubbed on some of the wax spots that were on the side strakes, you know, just because I didn't like to look at them. But there's some old wax left on the car, but that'll all be taken care of. I just want to look at the bumper again. See, it just looks really, really nice in the grill. So I am not going to touch the paint on the top of that. We're just going to do a lower half respray. This car does have the F355 wheels on it. We just took the tires off yesterday. They were date coded 2001. So I didn't want to wait on the tires. We got some brand new Michelin Pilot Sports. And these are the F355 wheels. And looks really, really nice on the car. I do want to source the original 5-star factory wheels. I'd like to have 2 sets of wheels for this car. The 355 offers a Michelin Pilot Sport in this 18. The stock wheels in the 17s, I looked at tire availability and it was much, much, much less. And Michelin Pilot Sports were not an option. And I really think that's the best tire for this car. So I'm gonna pretty much rock the 355 wheels, but I do want to source some 348 original wheels to keep with the car and keep original, because I really do like the look of the original wheel. It's just 80s and it just goes with the car. So looking down the car, this car, I cannot wait to get the paint correction done on it because it's just gonna look fantastic. But I mean, there's really hardly any flaws. Again, that's some wax there and that will come off. The mirrors, I'm gonna do a paint correction and then I'm gonna do a ceramic coat also, because, you know, red's gonna oxidize, so we want to protect and preserve this car in its as much as originality as possible. The windshield is in excellent condition. There are little minor chips. You can see it right there. You know, a couple little minor issues to be expected. A car with 36,000 miles on it. I've driven this thing several hundred miles already. Absolutely loving it. A couple little scratches there. See right there, but that's gonna polish out. Coming here around the door handle, mostly wax. This car's got a lot of wax on it. There's a little bitty chip in the paint right here. That's gonna fill and nicely and pretty much disappear. Again, along the bottom, most of what you see there is wax. Looking across the quarter panel, gorgeous. Love the hips on this car. I'm actually tagging this car. If that tells you anything, you know, I usually don't tag any cars, but this one I'm gonna tag. So this wheel right here, when they were putting the tires on, for some reason, I think this was a previous repair and a little piece chipped out there. Unfortunate, but that's just the way it is. So I'll have that touched up and repaired. Again, Michelin Pilot Sports on the rear, 265 40/18s. Really, really good size for this car. The marker lens back there in excellent condition. So looking across the back here, I'm really happy with the way this black little section over the engine is. It's just really, how do I explain? You know, sometimes these flat blacks, you know, they can really get stained and stuff, but it really looks fantastic and in such good original paint condition. Because I've seen some of these where that little cover right there really shows a lot of wear and tear because it has a lot of heat, and I'm just really happy with the finish of that. So what somebody has done here, and you can see it with the light. So I'm guessing that the paint on the engine louver was probably from the heat, was probably showing some sort of flaws, some sort of age, some sort of issue. The good news is this comes off separately. And so you'll see that there's some orange peel in here. So whoever painted it really didn't do that great a job. Kind of got a little heavy-handed with the paint, and you know, just kind of a really thick deal. So I plan on, I mean, if I didn't tell you about it, you probably wouldn't even notice. And it isn't a louvered grill, so not really part of the body, you know, shine of the car, but it is noticeable. So I may take that off and have that stripped, and then have just this metal grill repainted and nothing else on the body of the car. So, because you can see the body back here on the back of the lid is original, and this has been repainted. Looking across the back, and now here's what I absolutely love. I love the tail end of this car. I love the louvers. I am an 80s kid, and this car just screams 80s to me. I love the taillights of this car. And they call it, and it kind of looks like a baby Testarossa. You know, you got, look at the side strakes there, and just look at the lines and the angles, and ooh, I just get excited over this silly stuff. Love cars, love cars. Taillights behind that look to be in really, really good condition. I haven't taken that grill off. I'll probably take the grill off and do a little polishing on the lights, but they are in really, really good condition. There's our prancing horse. Rear bumper is excellent, actually. Don't see any flaws on the rear bumper. There is an aftermarket exhaust on this car, and I'll kind of show you underneath it here. I'm not sure if this is custom made. It kind of looks like a Flowmaster type exhaust. So I don't know if somebody custom made exhaust. It has a very, very, very good sound to it. And I'm gonna leave it. I'm happy with it. Not a huge fan of the carbon fiber tips. I might consider changing that, but that would be the least of my concerns. Here's underneath the car. There is one small little oil drip coming right there where the clutch cover is. There's one small oil drip, and that's pretty much all I'm getting. But this car is due for its major service, so all of this will be coming out, and we'll be doing the timing belt and the full major service, and then I'm gonna detail the engine and the engine bay and all that stuff at that time when the engine's out. That's the time to do it. So not gonna really bother with the engine compartment until then. Coming over here to the right side in the right quarter. Excellent, excellent condition. No issues or flaws. And a little quarter panel there is beautiful. Okay, looking at this wheel here. Tires, like I said, brand new. This wheel here is really, really good shape. So a couple of wheels, got a little flaws. We'll get them touched up there. Looking down the side of the car, there is one scratch here on top of the door. Let me move. And I don't really feel it in the paint. So I'm thinking that's gonna disappear, hopefully 90% or better. I'm gonna step over here, give you a better view with this door. And like I said, the paint, even the paint, you know, behind the wheels, I'm super happy. Because I mean, it's not all blasted with rocks. Again, that is wax, but the wheel arches are nice and clean, everything. Here's the front wheel. Again, this happened when they put tires on, and it's not really the tire place's fault because these wheels have obviously been redone, and so that's kind of just some weak paint or repair from when that was done. Looking at the mirror, got one little scratch on the corner there. I don't even feel it, so that will disappear with the paint correction. Got a little delamination in the windshield. I am not gonna do anything about that. That's just part of a used car. There's a little chip on the windshield right there. And like I said, I mean, that's, you know, if you get a crack or, you know, because it's below your sight line, you don't even see it at all unless you're standing outside the car. So completely non-functioning, you know, non-operational issue. Looking at the right fender, it is beautiful condition. And the right marker, feels like some wax there. So that'll probably come off. So it'll be fun to see this car again and be able to compare the before and after photos. So let's go ahead and pop both ends here and let's take a look in the engine bay and the storage compartment. I guess we'll start with the front here. Pull our little lever here. No, here's our VIN number. Okay, and here is our mileage, so I don't forget that. There you go. Just turning over 36,200. So we're going to pop the boot here and have a look. So I haven't even vacuumed under here. This is pretty much how I got it. You know, I didn't care. Just show you how it came in here. So it's dusty under here. There's the factory toolkit, the factory manual. Got all the owner's manuals and books and some receipts in there. Looks like they had an aftermarket stereo in here, and for some reason they decided to take this apart and remove it. So I don't know if they were going to be doing some updating. Not really sure about that. The hood struts are weak, so I'm going to be ordering new hood struts. But I'll come around here to the other side. And so again, like I said, I'm gonna detail this all out and make this look perfect and brand new again. But again, I'm showing this to you in two parts, so kind of showing you, there's my duct tape for the top. There's my top repair. So they had an aftermarket stereo and amp in here. I'm gonna redo everything. You know, I will put a nice radio in it, you know, something more modern or whatever, but all these wires, you know, we're gonna start over and do it super clean and super nice. So I'm gonna pull out all this old stuff and start with new. So I'm gonna go ahead and let this bonnet drop. Nice firm closure there. Let's open the engine lid. All right. And also the engine lid struts are weak, so we'll be replacing those. So here's your engine bay. Here is all the original tags and stickers. It's just pretty much dusty back here. The hood insulation is coming down. So I'll get new insulation for that and restore all of that. Hood pads, make that nice. It's really actually pretty nice in here. It's just dusty, but it's really, really good shape. I'm kind of excited to drop the engine out of this and, you know, be able to take the time and just really detail this engine bay out. That's gonna be fun. I'm kind of looking forward to that. It'll be a really neat chance to get to know the car. We'll close that down. All right, and then here is probably my favorite view of the car, the rear 3/4 view. Absolutely. I want to get a personalized tag. Like I said, I'm going to tag this car, but you know, thinking there's something about baby got back or something silly, but actually I've got an idea for a tag on this car. I think I'm potentially going to get a tag and it's going to say analog on it, because really this is probably the last fully analog Ferrari. It doesn't have airbag, doesn't have traction control. It does have ABS, which is probably, you know, and I haven't even felt the ABS step in yet, so it's not overly sensitive. But you know, this is literally, you know, you don't have, the 355 has the hydraulic suspension and, you know, has a lot more complexity to the car. This really is kind of like the last basic, you know, pure sports car. So let's go take a look at the interior here real quick. All right, looking at the door panels. Excellent condition on the door panels. Very, very nice. Power windows work. Mirrors all work. Little teeny bit of bowing right here, but it's not bad. I'm not concerned about that. Looking at the, kind of take a bird's eye view here and then come in. So there's some little marks on the back of it from where, I guess you gotta be careful not to run the top back into the seat back into the top. But I'm gonna pull the seats out, shampoo all the carpets. We're gonna have the seats resprayed. The leather is in really, really good shape. It's not worn through or anything. It's just lost a lot of color. So I'll pan back here. We're gonna have the seats re-dyed, and then we're gonna recondition them after we have them dyed. Little faults like right here, gonna have that repaired. Dr. Vinyl does a really good job on that. And here's the top kind of stowed away. Pretty cool. Unique belts here. You got a separate lap belt, and then you got the automatic belt that comes along this track, and then you take your shoulder belt and you strap it in. So kind of a two-part belt system. It's kind of funny, kind of quirky, but hey, it works. It's what they had to do in the day to conform to the regulations. Got our 3 pedals down here and our dead pedal. The carpet underneath is excellent condition, so we'll clean up and shampoo and make the rest of the carpet really, really nice. I'm gonna go ahead and slide in. Okay, now we're in the cockpit here. Love it. This is just such an amazing place to be. So comfortable. I'm 6 foot and it just fits like a glove. I'm so happy with the way this car fits comfortably. You've got the little bit of the narrow foot box here, but actually it's better than my Lotus was. See, look here. Just don't wear a wide soled shoe and you're fine. But I don't have any issues at all with the pedal placement. A little bit cocked to the inside, but not a problem. The dash actually is in really, really good condition. There's one little upward bump right there, whatever that is. And the leather's soft, but some upward bump, I don't know what that is, but dash is nice and straight, not warped or cracked or anything like that. The leather is in really, really nice condition. And the steering wheel, got that wonderful Italian air horn. And then here is the hidden compartment for the radio. There is an Kenwood in there. I might go with because I'm sure that's not the original radio anyway. So I'll probably just find a nice radio of my choice there. Looking here at the climate controls, all the colors, all the dials, all the buttons. There's no sticky issues with this car. I'm guessing that's been repaired because it's not sticky at all. So I don't know what they've done there. Got a really cool Momo shift knob. So it's not the original shift knob, but it is Momo. So, and I think it looks really great with the gated shifter and the chrome shaft. So not gonna change that. I like that. Back up here a little bit. We got our sun visors. They are in very good condition. Looking here at this other sun visor. We got our mirror there, very good condition. Got our glove box right here. Pop that open. And it needs a strut. I think this car needs every single strut that there is. I think come on, it's 94, right? So those seals have long gone and the gas has escaped. So here is our cigarette lighter, and that works. Climate control, when I got the car, it would work, and then it would show an E8 error after I would be running it for a while. So it would all function, and then it would show an E8 error, then it would kind of quit functioning. And then it just went out altogether. So I have no climate control now. So not sure what the issue is with that, but we'll get that fixed. And I don't know if it just blew a fuse or what. So anyway, here's our center console. We'll kind of open that up a little bit. There's some little miscellaneous screws and pieces in there. And we'll touch up, see that little deal right there? We'll touch that up and get that all nice. But overall, this car is very nice. I'll just go ahead and show you the passenger seat from here. And passenger seat's in really, really good condition. And I'll show you from the other side too, so you can actually see with great detail. So let me hop out and go to the other side. I got my shoes off here so we're not squeaking on the floor. It does, somebody commented in some of the comment section about the noisy shoes and listening to it, hearing going every time I take a step is somewhat annoying. Passenger door panel is in excellent condition. There's a few little nicks, you know, fingernail marks or whatever that is. You know, those will be touched up and disappear. This door panel here has got a bit of a hump right here and a little bit of color wear on the top there. So again, that's just age of the car, patina, character, whatever you want to call it. Not too concerned about it. The rocker sills are in really, really nice shape. And then I just love the way, there's your actual air intakes for your radiator. So it's cool how it sucks in the air for the engine to the radiators through those actual functional side strakes. So here we go, here's the passenger seat. And you can see a little color wear there. But you know, passenger seat obviously gets a lot less wear than the driver's seat. So we're in good shape there. Cool old Ferrari floor mats. I'll steam clean those and make those nice. Carpets underneath. Perfect condition. And then underneath that false floorboard there is a fuse box. So, and you can see like this leather's nice. I can't wait to get it dyed and start reconditioning it and bringing it back to its full glory. All right, doors closed nice and solid. So there is the exterior overview of this 94 355. Now let's do the best part of all. We're gonna get in this Hoovie. Actually, there's a story behind this car. Go to Hoovie's garage and look up, I found another cheap 348, and Hoovie and another friend of mine, Rob, played a really, really good prank on me. And but definitely go watch that video. It's quite entertaining at my expense, but the bottom line is I end up with the car. So that's the happy ending of that. So anyway, he has a watch party going on here for his TV show, Car Issues. So that's where I'm headed right now. So we're gonna mount the camera and I will give you the driving impressions as we're headed to Hoovie's. All right, let's go. All right, we're strapped into the 348. Let's fire it up. Fire in the hole. Oh yeah. So go ahead and show you the, well, you can't really see the belts, but bring the lap one around and then bring the shoulder harness up and over and clip it in. Okay. I warmed this guy up a little bit earlier, but we're still going to kind of take it easy till the temperature gets a little bit better. Too bad you can't see the gated shifter, but I'm guessing you'll probably be able to hear it. So I'm going to go ahead and put the side windows up. So what's really nice, one of the great features about this car is when you put the side windows up, it really, there's like hardly no wind in the car. So makes for a really, really comfortable environment to drive the car. So let's go ahead and pull out a shift here. Here, actually, we're inside here. Let's see if we can hear this. Yeah. Love it, love it, love it. Here we go. Take care, brother. See ya. Got a fellow shift member there, just pulled in his motorcycle. This is an absolutely incredible day here. We've got, this is December, right? December 1st, and it's 76 degrees today. So absolutely phenomenal day. I'm gonna go ahead and put our lights up. Got pop-up lights, gotta love the pop-up lights. So here we go, take that nice angle, and let's get rolling here. Got the dog leg first gear, so kind of unique that way. So let's get rolling. So driving the car, so some of the some of the issues with the car. The clutch was actually just replaced at 31,000 miles, so has a new clutch in it. But the struts, the front struts are the right front strut is pretty much completely blown. The left one is weak. They're both leaking, so needs two front struts. The rear struts are dry and they're doing a perfect job, so I'm not going to mess with the rear struts. One thing that was really cool is what I noticed, and by the way, if you haven't noticed or whatever, this hat, I've had this hat for over 10 years, just waiting for this car. So
I didn't just go around and get this hat. This has been on my shelf. I don't even think I've ever worn it, and but just happy to bring it out and debut it with this car. But anyway, so underneath the car, looking at the car, the struts are actually coilover adjustables from the factory. So that's really, really cool. Not sure what my options are yet on struts for the car, but you know, I'm guessing that I can even probably just find a off-the-shelf Coney, you know, probably a double adjustable, you know, super nice Coney coilover. Really, all I got to do is match up the length and the shaft sizes, and you know, just physically match a strut, and then match the valving to the car, and should be good. So that's kind of, I'll research my options. You know, maybe you guys have some good leads on that for me. So, but anyway, so that's the suspension about the car. The brakes, a little bit of squeaking, so we'll inspect the pads. They feel fantastic. I love it. I mean, these are ABS, you know, power assisted brakes, but they feel like really nice mechanical brakes, you know, really low effort mechanical brakes. So really happy with the braking of this car, you know, and just how the pedal feels. All right, we've got a little underpass here. Give it a blip on the throttle. Gotta love it, gotta love it. Get a little holler there too. So let's ease out onto the highway here. And here we go. Okay, we got a little on-ramp here. This is always fun. This actually is kind of a neat on-ramp because it's got concrete sides, so it usually gives a lot of nice reverberation sound to it. So we'll see if we can get out in the lead here and go up this ramp. It'll be a little short on the shifting. Get some more temperature. Oh, happy day. What's interesting about this car is there's no rear view mirror, center rear view mirror. I don't know if that's, it just didn't come with one. I see nothing where anything would have mounted, so not really sure that way. But you know, actually the nice thing about this car is the side view mirrors are mounted really high, kind of like Testarossa style, and so you can see over the rear quarter panels really well. The rear visibility, actually, with just the side mirrors, is very, very good. And with such a raked short windshield, if I did have a mirror there, it would be obscuring a lot of forward vision for me. So I'm pretty happy with it. Man, it rides so nice with these Pilot Sports. The other tires that were on it were literally like hard as rocks, like Fred Flintstone. And so you felt every little seam and every little crack. Even with the blown out struts on the front, the car rides very, very nice. I'm very happy with it. It's just, I get a little emotional on this car. I mean, you know, obviously, you know, Ferrari is an incredible storied mark, you know, and I thought it'd be neat to have a Ferrari someday. I mean, you know, if you want to experience all cars in history, you know, major manufacturers, I mean, you know, Ferrari really has to be in that category. And so for years, you know, I've kind of thought, what's my Ferrari? Like, what Ferrari could I potentially actually afford to own, you know? And my dream Ferrari, well, I love the Testarossa, but you know, those have definitely shot up out of my range. You know, and then I drove Hoovie's Testarossa, kind of a big GT, fun car, beautiful car, but you know, really more of a GT car. The 348 is really a sports car, you know. It really has a definite, I'm going to use my seat back one notch here. Super comfortable, love it. So, so I'm thinking, okay, V8 Ferraris. The 308, a little too dated. And then so I thought, well, the 355, I thought that would be probably my dream Ferrari. We got a tunnel here, so we're going to interrupt this broadcast to bring you sound. And what a glorious sound that is. Now, shut her down. I don't need a speeding ticket. But, so the 348, so back up. So I remember seeing the movie The Rock and that yellow 355 Spider. And, I kind of thought, that's my dream Ferrari, the 355 Spider yellow. And I even have the 1/18 scale die cast of that car. Here we go again. So I got that die cast, and that was kind of my dream Ferrari. But the 355s were always, they've been out of my price range, pretty much the entire time. As I've been able to afford more cars, the car has gone up in value. So, it's eluded me. Funny story though, I almost had that exact car. And so there's a funny story that's coming about the yellow 355 Spider. But the 355 is kind of known. I mean, it's really a love it, hate it car. Incredible performance. That's what kind of made the 348 values drop. Is the 355 from a performance standpoint was a much higher performance car. More power, 5-valve per cylinder. Like a 9,000 RPM redline. I mean, incredible car. But along with that came a lot more technology, hydraulic suspension, and those cars, are kind of known of being a very expensive Ferrari to maintain. So even if I could afford that car to buy it, the car scares me from an ownership standpoint, because I'm just not a guy that can buy a car and absorb huge repair bills. To me, it would take away from the enjoyment of the car. So I always loved the 348, the look, and so I kind of started looking at the 348s again, and I love the styling. I'm an 80s kid, and it's basically the 348's kind of like your baby Testarossa, styling wise, right? So that car, I'm going to change lanes here, so I'm going to look over my shoulder, top down, no problem. So who have you got? A 348 Targa, cool car, 100,000+ miles on it, and it's like the reliable Ferrari, and I love the styling of it, and it's a more simple, basic car, not all of the fancy stuff, and so it's a car that I felt like, that's my Ferrari. The 348, it's got the 80s styling, it's reliable, and it's just old school. And so that became my target, my dream Ferrari was the 348. And I love Spiders. I'm not going to take a Ferrari and go take it to the track, and stuff like that. So that's where a coupe, a lot of the purists like the 348 coupe, because it's stiffer, better handling, lighter weight, just all of that stuff. But that doesn't matter to me. That's not what this car is to me. This car is about, right now, what I'm doing with it exactly at this moment. It's driving with the top down, beautiful weather, getting the sounds, the air, the visual experience, the audio soundtrack of the car. This is what. So I love cabriolets, whether it's Porsches, Ferraris, or whatever. I kind of go against the grain on the purists, and I actually love convertible Spiders, cabriolets, whatever you want to call them. So really, a 348 Spider was my car. Just recently at Barrett Jackson down at Houston, there was a 348 coupe down there, and I was like, it was red, and it was a Targa, and I was like, well, hey, Spider's my top choice, but if I could find a good buy on any 348, I would probably go pull the trigger on it. Had 31,000 miles on it, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna watch this car. You never know. It was a pretty car, red tan, right? Beautiful car. So I was kind of like, I'm going to watch this car, see what it does. And it brought $100,000 across the block. And that was kind of a depressing moment for me, because I'm like, that ship has sailed, and 348, basically any Ferrari I want at this point is now beyond my reach at this moment. So that was kind of a bummer. Then a friend of mine told me about a car that he had found locally, and we chased it for months. Rob actually did the chasing, and you know, he kept telling me about the car and updating me about the car, and he didn't know. I was like, well, I might buy it or let you buy it, or, you know, just, and I'm like, it got to a point where I was like, Rob, one of us needs to buy that car, please. I don't care if you go buy it. But so Rob went and made a deal with the guy, bought the car, and promised me that if he sold the car, that I would have the first shot at buying the car at what he paid for it. And that story is continued in Hoovie's video, so I won't go into the details of that. But end result is I am in my dream Ferrari. I'm going to take this car, I'm going to restore it. We're going to listen to it right now. Here we go. I'm in heaven, heaven. Oh, that's exhilarating. I've driven a lot of cars, but I mean, the only Ferrari I've ever driven was Tyler's Testarossa. That's probably the only one I've ever driven or ridden in, to be honest with you. You know, I see him and I hear him, and you know, and I thought I got it, but after driving it and just feeling it and hearing it, you know, I get it even more now. Just that experience. Sorry, I got sidetracked there when it took off in a stoplight in a tunnel. Just had to let it sing, let its voice be heard. But this is just a dream Ferrari of mine. I'm gonna hold on to it for a while, you know, indefinitely, and restore it, and, you know, and show it to you. I don't know how long it's going to take me, but I'm not in any rush. You know, do the major service on it, do the top, you know, just do it, get it serviceable, just keep fixing it up a little bit at a time. But it's just going to be such a wonderful experience. Just super happy about it, you know. So huge thank you from the bottom of my heart to Rob, first and foremost, as he's the one that found the car and was just kind enough to just turn the car over to me. I mean, he could have sold this car and made a profit, but, you know, friends came first, and, you know, that really means a lot, Rob. Try not to get emotional here, honestly. Ooh, it kind of got hit there. And then my good friend Tyler, excuse me. We've had so many fun car things together, and it's just things that I'll never forget and cherish forever. This car's, you know, definitely a great story, a great experience, and without either one of you, I wouldn't be in this video right now bringing you to this car. So, love you guys. Love you viewers. Thanks for watching. Look us up, EuroAsianAuto.com. Look us up on Facebook. Like and subscribe. Just all that fun stuff. Appreciate you. And my little exit tagline, as always, have a great day and happy motoring. Okay, something I got to do with this car is I've got to go through the Wichita's famous Central and Greenwich tunnel. It's a really cool tunnel, and everybody has to take their cars through there and do a little sound check. And I've been wanting to do it with this car, so got to add this little sound clip. That slink, slink, slink. Love it. All right. Gotta slow down a little bit. Drop it down. Here we go. It's a rite of passage here in Wichita. Thanks for joining along. One other thing I got to share with you is so cool too is just the cool lighting, just so 80s, oranges and greens, and just such a cool view out of the cockpit. Absolutely love it. Got the pop-up headlights. Look at that view across the hood. Super duper cool. So just such a cool place to be.